Let's have some recap today. I wish I would have done this yesterday. I didn't, so I'm doing it today. Didn't talk a lot after that last event. Emotions were kind of high after Colleen sadly didn't make it to the weekend. Yeah, just I didn't want to put that sour mood to you guys, and just need to take some time. Whole Coliseum, I'll admit, is super cool, especially when you're down on the floor with all the athletes. Just like the lights and everything, the noise, it was crazy. Like when you're really down below, you realize how loud it really is on that floor, and that was a very cool experience just to be down there in the media, like that pit, or they call it the press pit. That's what it says on my wristband. To be blunt, and I know everyone will have their own opinion on this, and a lot of people won't agree with this, I think the programming for this year's games has been bad. I think it's been, I simply have really not enjoyed the programming. One, I think it was boring to watch, at least relative to past years. And then two, I think it heavily was focused towards a certain athlete. Definitely on the smaller side. In past years, there's usually like a heavy lift or a swim event or something like that, where like bigger athletes or athletes that might not just meet this small physique gymnastics like look would do much better, and that hasn't happened at all. Almost each event, in my opinion, was heavily gymnastics. Like it really helped to be small, it really helped to be light, and like a great reason I bring that up is Danny Spiegel and my sister Colleen are very similar and very strong, probably if not the two strongest there, are both acts, and we're both right in that like same point spread. And there was never a heavy lift, there was never a really heavy sled. The sled today was pretty light. Besides like a few girls, most girls could move it decently well. Nothing really favored the tall, bigger athletes. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of just the programming in its entirety. I think there should have been like a heavy clean and stuff like that. But I understand that's a very, I probably have a pretty jaded opinion just because obviously Colleen is my sister. If Colleen was 5 foot nothing, 100 pounds, and made it to the weekend, I'd be like, you know what? Good on you, this programming's great, love it, let's keep going. So I understand that, but here's a good story for you. In 2013, I believe, Rich Froning, after the first day, or after the first event, I think was in like dead last. He did terribly, absolutely terribly. If this setup was then, Rich Froning would not have made it to the next event. He would have been cut, and just stuff like that. So just the way this weekend works and how everyone gets cut, and a big name, for example, was Fikowski, he got cut. And for a name like that, who is just so consistently right at the top of whatever competition he goes to, is just acts just like that, I just think they have to look at the event and just be like, well, okay, this is kind of odd. And I no longer think this is who is the fittest on earth, because truly, if it was the fittest on earth, they would do all the events, and then how you do through all the events, you'd find the best, most well-rounded athlete. A long story short, I no longer think this is finding the fittest on earth. I think it is just it's all about luck, in my opinion. It's about, do the events line up kind of in your wheelhouse, and then maybe people that could possibly beat you later on in events, maybe they'll get cut because they didn't even have a chance to do an event that like would be more up their alley. And don't get me wrong, I totally get you could fight everything I'm saying with, well, CrossFit, this is what the games are. Like, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's all randomness. Like, you never know what's going to come your way. And I understand that. I think it's very clear that the programming has been it almost seems like a budget cut. Like, what can we do that will just like save us time and money? So we'll just start like axing people like that, and then we need less equipment, and then maybe like late Saturday, early Sunday, we'll do events that have like odd objects, because then we won't have to buy a lot of those or like put those out there. I mean, if you have another opinion and you think I'm totally wrong, I would comment. Well, I'd love to hear what you guys think. But yeah, I mean, I talked to a lot of people that thought the programming was good. They like thought that, well, because they had a 135 snatch or 185 snatch in the whatever that first event was with the running and the snatching and all that stuff. Yes, but 135 really isn't that heavy. A lot of girls can do that, especially like Colleen. I know some girls struggled on it, but it's really not like, man, this is really going to separate the men from the boys. Like, this weight is heavy. Like, there was none of that. I also think the hype going into the games in past years was higher. I think the reason that the hype isn't there anymore is because the Instagram and the Facebook are gone. To me, the Instagram of CrossFit Games or whatever it was, I think it was CrossFit Games. That was like the hub of the Instagram community. Like, if there was a newcomer on the scene, they would get tagged in a post and they'd get flooded with followers. Or if there was a big event going on at one like of the sanctioned events or something like that, like they could tag it and do stuff like that. And now all that's gone. And the last note I'll say, just so I don't babble on forever, I find it entertaining that people in the CrossFit community, especially when they're higher up, when they have a name in the community, they will not badmouth CrossFit in basically any way. I mean, we all saw, like, I can't remember the name, but people within CrossFit badmouthed CrossFit, and then they were axed. They were fired. It's like the NFL. Let's bring this analogy in. If the refs suck and they mess up, or there's a rule that doesn't make any sense, I can't remember the game, but I think it was the Saints, where there was such clear defensive pass interference, and people were furious that they couldn't go back and review it or do anything, and they were just blown away how the refs could miss such a easy call of pass interference. And they blamed the NFL for that. They're like, how can you do this? You should be able to review this and everything. So players, coaches, managers, everything was blaming the NFL and refs in general. When something odd happens in CrossFit, everyone prances around so lightly. Like, people will like be skeptical, right? But they'll always be like, oh, but like, look at what could come, and my mind is so open. Like, no one is willing to just say, you know what, this was stupid. For instance, I think deleting Facebook and Instagram was stupid. It was dumb. Those were two hubs of CrossFit, and you toss those out the window. I understand, at least from what I heard, Glassman and a lot of the CrossFit world didn't really like the message that Facebook was putting out there and kind of what they were pushing down. So they just canned it. There's like, we don't want to be affiliated at all with CrossFit, Facebook and Instagram, which, okay, I get. But take like conservative media, for example. There are plenty of people on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram that are very conservative. They lean so far right. And those media platforms don't really like them. But at the same time, those people that are that right leaning and that conservative use it as a means to share their message. And if CrossFit really wanted to share their message and really stick it to Facebook for not kind of lining up with them, they would keep sending their message through Facebook and Instagram and anything they own, because that would be the biggest kind of FU to Facebook. Like, hey, we get it, we're not lining up with you, but we're still going to share our stuff and our message on your platform, because, I mean, it's open forum. You can't really do anything. Yeah, you might be able to demonetize and stuff like that, but we're going to keep sharing our message to the masses. And what CrossFit did was, no, we're actually just going to can those. We're going to lose our ability to connect with the most people to share our message, and we're not going to really do anything else. So I don't like to me, stupid, really dumb move. I haven't heard anyone in the CrossFit community just say that, just be like, you know what, that was dumb. But hey, I'm in the CrossFit community, and I'm saying it's dumb, and it was dumb. You can't even argue that. Like, it just like the amount of people they had available and how many people were liking their posts, very engaged with their stuff, and that was how they were sending their message, to just throw that out the door. And now there's no really hub of CrossFit anymore of how news gets spread or anything. So it's just like, it was dumb. But on a lighter note, I'm having a great time at the games and filming. It's been a blast. I loved making yesterday's vlog. I'm excited to edit this one. I can't wait to make really fun edits for like George and Colleen and all that stuff. And at the end of the games, kind of make like a montage of the games as an entirety, because like I've gotten really cool shots that maybe wouldn't fit in like a vlog kind of setup, but maybe would in like more of like a montage basically. Really enjoying filming. The CrossFit, the vendor village and all that stuff is really cool. It's cool just seeing the CrossFit community like come together, and it's such a nice atmosphere. And I still love the fact that CrossFit is and has the fittest fans in sports. It is funny, I don't think any other sport would have all of the fan base looking like they're ready to hop in and play the sport right away, because half the fans look like they're ready to do a WOD and a workout right then and there. But yeah, we still have 2 more days of the CrossFit Games. I'm excited to keep filming, and I'm going to. It'll obviously, it'll be a little different because Colleen or George are still there. I'm gonna try to get in contact with more friends, show that, still highlight the big events and the big wins and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be different. And now there's definitely enough talking on my end. This video's over. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys tomorrow for day 3.